Hey, peace, y'all. Peace, peace. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the place, the safe one, allegedly, where we set oppression ablaze, an airing of the grievances location where you can grieve and air your grievances. Because I will be doing the same right here. Your favorite auntie checking in. How's everybody feeling out there this evening? Let me real quick before we get the show started. I want to thank all of our remixers, all of the Remix Morning Show viewers, dare I say participants, co-hosts this morning. It was Ear Doctor and I flying solo. You know that's dangerous. When it's just me and the Ear Doctor left to our own devices. Who knows what's going to get said? But we open up the phone lines, the phone lines, auntie, like I said, checking in. We open up the phone lines and all of our folks, a good smattering of our folks, many of our fire farmers decided to check in today. So I want to thank you guys for that because we appreciate the love. We appreciate the engagement. We appreciate the participation. We appreciate y'all's opinions. We appreciate you in the chat. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate it. So it was lovely. I rather enjoyed myself. Don't forget, you guys, this Thursday, the Ear Doctor and I are doing classical breakdown. I'll be talking about that a little bit later. How are y'all? Everybody doing okay? Great. The world, not so much. The world not doing so great. And because of that, I'm gonna invert my story order a little bit here today because I'm actually gonna start off with a palate cleanser. Because when I saw this story, I said, baby, irony is not dead. Karma is real. And this is what happens when you're a racist piece of shit, right? Bad things will come back and bite you in the ass, or in this case, shoot you in the ass. Let's go to Florida, everybody. Do me a favor, y'all. Engage with the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. So, the story coming out of Miami over the weekend involved a seemingly random road rage shooting. Okay. A 28-year-old man by the name of Mordecai Brofman, while driving his SUV, his truck, got out of his truck in traffic and took his pistol and opened fire on a passing Hyundai, right, with two occupants inside. Mordecai got out of his car and started blasting on this other car, 17 shots. And he was pretty convinced that he had killed the two occupants inside, but it turned out that he had not. And when Mordecai was spoken to by the police, they caught up with him in just a couple of short blocks away. He in an excited utterance, declared that he had murdered two Palestinians. And he was very proud about that action. So, were his two victims Palestinians? They were not. Will, can you please pop up the Guardian article? Because, guys, gun violence isn't usually funny. It's usually not funny. Gun violence, when people get when the click clacks come out, it's usually a very, very serious situation. In this case, not so much, because it turns out that Mordecai Brofman, himself a Jewish man, ended up opening fire on two Israeli tourists who were visiting Florida. They were shocked that they were shot. It was the two victims were Ari Rabi. I believe he was in his 30s, and he was with his dad, who was in his 70s. One of them suffered a gunshot wound to the shoulder. The other suffered just a graze wound. However, they took to their social media, at least Ari did, the son, took to social media and declared that they were the victims of an anti-Semitic attack. And then went on to proclaim on their social media page, "Death to Arabs." And I want to be clear here. There was not an Arab in sight. It was not an Arab in sight. It was not a Palestinian in sight. It was not a Muslim in sight. This was Zio on Zio violence, which is a synonym for white on white violence, which you guys know is what, Fire Fam? My favorite. That is correct. Okay. I cannot get enough of white on white violence as long as they keep it amongst themselves and leave the rest of us out of this shit. And thank God there were no bystanders harmed when Mordecai Brofman allegedly let off 17 shots at these two Israeli tourists. He thought they were Palestinian. They thought they were under anti-Semitic attack. And it turns out that everybody involved was an Israeli Zionist. And yet somehow Arabs and Palestinians still got the blame. This is some dystopic Mickey Mouse upside down nonsense. And I have to laugh at the absurdity and the irony. And again, the way that karma come back and immediately bite somebody in the ass. Now it is terrifying. Now that's the funny part, that the Israeli shot at the other Israelis. First of all, though not in any particular order of importance or priority, I just want to make this point. 17 shots and you only landed 2 bullets, sir. You're a terrible fucking shot. and I'm so glad that no bystanders were injured. That's the first thing. That's not the first thing, but that's one of the things that popped into my mind. I'm like, God damn, 17 shots and everybody survived, huh? Terrible shot. Get your ass. They go put that thing away. Stop it right now. But what terrifies me now, turning off the funny and turning back to the serious, what terrifies me about a story like this is that it shows that even in U.S. soil, in the United States of America, not a shock, but just a fact, that it is still open season on Palestinians. It is open season on brown and black folks. Despite this idiot Brofman thinking that his targets were Palestinian, they weren't. What if they had been? What if he had been a better shot? There have been at least three, let me say that. I don't know what the exact number, but we'll say at least 3. For as much as the public, rather the mainstream media, wants to be alarmist about the so-called rise in anti-Semitic attacks, which I'm curious as what constitutes as an attack, because I think an unprovoked shooting on persons believed to be Palestinian definitely constitutes as a fucking anti-Palestinian, anti-Arab, anti-Muslim attack. But then I'm thinking about the 3 college students, Palestinian college students. Where was this, guys? Was that in Vermont or New Hampshire? Up in that part of the country where these 3 Palestinian students were shot for nothing, for simply existing in their brown Palestinian skin and speaking Arabic to one another. One of the students was left permanently paralyzed. Also, the 6-year-old and their mother, who were stabbed and attacked in Illinois. The 6-year-old Palestinian boy murdered, his mother critically injured. And of course, in Texas, the story we covered here, where some fucking white, again, they would all the attackers in all of these instances, all whites, by the way, shouldn't shock nobody. You know, they got to stick to the brand, got to keep the brand strong. But the story in Texas, where a Palestinian child, there was an attempted drowning of this child at a public pool in Texas by some fucking lunatic white. And that is terrifying. As much as we as Black people understand that we can be greenlit by state agents, the police at any time, also by some random vigilante white, our Latino folks understand this as well, especially now. But tragically, and if they didn't understand it, our Arab and Muslim friends need to get it too. America is not a safe space for you if you are perceived to be other. And it's madness that Israelis, and of course, we know that a lot of Israelis are American first, Israeli second, but it's wild that that sense of murderous entitlement that Israelis and settlers in the occupied territories in Gaza will open fire on random Palestinian people, children, women, elders. They are indiscriminate in their violence. And this level of entitlement that is now manifesting, I won't say now as though it's new, but manifesting itself yet again here, where Israelis think that they can open fire on the streets of America in the way that they do in the streets of Gaza, the West Bank, and in Israel. Well, it's not real. as the kids call it on TikTok, it's not real, right? I am more afraid. I think that I was, or let me say, I won't say more, but I am continuing to be concerned for all of our people that are marginalized, that are easily identifiable as other, as non-white, as male or non-male, as hetero, as all of these things. But it's not a shock, because before Elon Musk and Doge, you can take that down, Will, thank you. Before Elon Musk and Doge decided to do a soft coup of the United States, basically usurping and seemingly gaining control of a lot of US government information about US citizens. Guys, Israel then took over the government. And I know this isn't new, but what I hope to do here is to sort of reinforce, and for those that may not think that Israel has complete capture of the levers of power in this country, I just want to tell you that that's not the case. So where are we going next? Because part of the reason why I think this story coming out of Florida is not making as much news as it should is because obviously there's an attempt to protect those involved, protect the victims who said death to Arabs, and of course, in some way, maybe protect the perpetrator. However, what do I want to show here? Where are we going next? So, okay, let's go to okay. When I say that Israel has captured the US, in part, Israel is guilty, I say that unequivocally, guilty of committing war crimes and crimes against humanity. Don't believe me? Ask the International Criminal Court, ask the International Court of Justice. These international bodies, of which the United States and Israel do not abide by the rules and international norms, they have said Israel is guilty of war crimes along with Hamas. However, what Hamas did was an exercise in self-defense. What Israel is doing is continuing its genocide of Palestinians and continuing to attack the Lebanese in the south. And with the US's help, Israel obviously can't do anything wrong here, right? What I mean by that is there's a ceasefire in place between Israel and Hamas, also a ceasefire in place between Israel and Lebanon, alleged ceasefires. Let me put it that way. Because since both of these separate ceasefires have gone into effect, Israel has been violating these shits at every single fucking turn. But if you watch regular American media, if you watch the network news, if you watch cable news, I don't know if they are underscoring the numerous, I mean, we're talking dozens of violations at this point. And I don't mean simply IDF soldiers shooting into crowds. No, they're murdering Palestinians still and continuing to do attacks in Lebanon. And I want us to look at this Al Jazeera piece because, guys, but for independent and some international media outlets, I swear to God, living in America is exactly like living in a silo. Like our so-called fourth estate, our media, our press does a terrible job of informing us about other world events, shit that's happening outside of America's borders. Anyway, in case you didn't know, let's take a look at the ways that Israel continues to target civilians, and they are endorsed and they are propped up and they are funded and they are defended by the government of the United States. And it doesn't matter if Trump is in the fucking White House or Joe Biden is in the fucking White House. The entire federal government has been captured by a foreign power. Okay. And apparently the rest of the world just has to suffer. The rest of the world just has to suffer and deal with the shit because don't nobody want to go toe to toe with the US for now. Anyway, we'll go ahead and run the package. Thank you.
The site of the drone attack on this vehicle in the southern city of Sidon. It happened in broad daylight along a main highway that links Beirut, Lebanon's capital, to southern Lebanon. Israel acts with little restraint. It does not consider this attack a violation of the truce. It says that it is enforcing the agreement because the Lebanese army is unable to disarm Hezbollah and to ensure that Hezbollah is not rearmed. Now, Lebanon dismisses these accusations and says that Israel is procrastinating and remaining in Lebanese territory along the border. Israel is supposed to leave Lebanese territory by a February 18 deadline, but what we understand is that they may stay in strategic hilltop positions along the border. For Israel, the ceasefire does not signal an end to the war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday said that Israel would continue to enforce the ceasefire agreement. There was a similar attack 48 hours ago in a village in southern Lebanon. 3 people were killed. According to the Israeli military, they were members of Hezbollah's drone unit.
Well, they can't be believed. Number one, any information coming out of Israel, you should automatically render it as not credible because they have been caught in umpteen thousand million lies about everything, any minuscule to major detail or incident that you can think of. The Israeli government will lie about that. But what's not a lie is that they are continuing to attack Lebanese civilians, okay? And trust and believe, if Hezbollah was to start to let the chopper sing again, remember we saw the video of Ali Mortada rubbing his hand up against that missile? if Hezbollah was to start letting the chopper sing again over Haifa, over Tel Aviv, oh, nigga, Lester Holt is going to be breaking news. It's going to be the NBC breaking news. Breaking news. Hezbollah has violated the ceasefire agreement. Israel declares war. But the way that the U.S. media will bury its hand in the sand, again, because the whole country is captured by Zionism, okay? The media included. They won't tell the truth. And what I mean by truth, I literally mean just reporting the facts accurately. Like, I don't even mean like some big unfolding truth about, the history and the root of Zionism and how we are. No, nigga, just tell the truth that Israel's out here still killing civilians, targeting healthcare facilities, targeting hospitals, targeting the healthcare infrastructure, not only of Lebanon, but now they're going into the West Bank. It's a madness. Absolute madness. And I don't want anyone to please lose sight of the ongoing genocide that continues. I understand that Trump and Musk are causing giant fuckery over here, but we can't lose sight of some of the bigger pictures, okay? And part of the reason why Israel continues to manipulate, or rather just pull the marionette strings of American power brokers, be them in Congress, be them in the White House, be them on K Street, the lobbyists, regardless. Stories are coming out about how phony the TikTok ban, in fact, is/was, and the whole premise behind TikTok needing to be banned in the United States because of national security concerns, because China. It's fuck Trump all day, but when that nigga says China, this shit's hilarious. China, when it's because of China. No, in fact, it's not. Will Mr. Klippenstein's piece, please, on Ken Klippenstein's, I hope I'm saying the gentleman's name right, on his Substack, Ken Klippenstein, is it whatever? You know who I'm talking about. KK got it together on the Substack. And it says that the TikTok ban that was framed, or it was framed by Israel, not by China. Funded. I can't read. TikTok ban funded by Israel. And China ain't have shit to do with it. So you guys may have seen some reports or some journalism coming out of the Munich Security Conference where I assume all the ghouls meet. They meet over what are they eating Germany? Brats. They ate over brats and beer at the Munich Security Conference. And in Ken Klippelstein's piece, he details a panel where Virginia Senator Mark Warner, who is, I believe, the top ranking Democrat on the Intelligence Committee, the Senate Intelligence Committee, was on a panel with a former Congressman, Mike Gallagher. And in the beautiful way in which, bipartisanship seems to flow so freely when it comes to running games on Americans, on American citizens. So on this panel, Mark Warner was, according to Ken's piece here, talked about how the whole TikTok ban was basically an artificial concoction. Mike Gallagher goes on to reveal on this panel that the ban that was basically it was also introduced by Senator Warner and Congressman Mike Gallagher. They were the authors of the TikTok ban bill. They said the ban was going nowhere. It wasn't going anywhere in Congress. Nobody really wanted to fuck with it until October 7th. And then Mike Gallagher says that the TikTok ban bill began to have legs. Why did it begin to have legs? Because the content that was being posted on TikTok was overwhelmingly pro-Palestinian. And to be clear here, part of the reason why this is me talking here, not the piece, but part of the reason why the content was pro-Palestinian is because Palestinians were able to live stream their own genocide, right? We got to see it some of the work and some of the stuff, y'all, I couldn't even watch. The descriptions were enough for me. I didn't have to watch it because I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't bear it. I could not even deep it in any way, shape, or form. And the horror, the disgust, the abject helplessness that many TikTok viewers felt while looking at some of these terrible images coming out of Gaza. Again, hold on, not only being live streamed by the Palestinian themselves, but the Israeli army military was themselves posting and documenting their own atrocities, their own now documented war crimes. But the Israeli lobby in the US was quite perplexed, as was the Biden administration, with the level of pro-Palestinian support that was being published on TikTok. And obviously it translated into mass demonstrations and rallies in support of the Palestinians across colleges and universities here in the US. And Israel was concerned, number one, that they thought that some of this content was being overly boosted by TikTok and the algorithm, right? And because China has the proprietary lockdown on TikTok's algorithm because they're a Chinese-owned company, Israel didn't have a back door in to manipulate the ways in which their content could be boosted, right? Or pro-Israeli content could be boosted. And that was a problem because all the other social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of them, the Zionist lobby already had a nice foothold in them. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe that Israel's out here playing with everybody's algorithm, now I suspect maybe even TikTok's included, we'll go ahead and run that clip from the executive director of the Anti-Defamation League, which I think is a misnomer. It's such a misnomer. So your organization is not correctly named, but Jonathan Greenblatt, this guy, he lays it all out in the ways in which the Zionist lobby, Zionist interests in the United States and globally have had long-standing relationships with Silicon Valley. And again, the fact that TikTok was not part of that manipulation, part of that capture, is why TikTok had to go. But I'm gonna come back to that. But go ahead and run him, Will. Thank you.
YouTube to get them to change their algorithms. We work with Facebook on trying to use a redirect method. So when you search for Holocaust, you get directed to like a Yad Vashem page. We opened a center in Silicon Valley back in 2017. And the woman who runs it, she's an ex-Facebook executive. I have software engineers and data scientists working at ADL. We're monitoring all this stuff. And we're working with all the platforms, by the way, Google and YouTube and Meta and Twitter and Reddit and Steam and Amazon, all these companies. From like Apple to Zoom, we work with all of them, okay? That's relevant because we've been working with Twitter now since it was founded. We work with the old regime, working with the new regime. Like I'm talking to Elon, and we're trying to work with them.
Just to understand this, is this simply a research effort, or is the ultimate goal, I imagine, to effectively defund them, which is to say that PayPal would effectively turn off the spigot, or at least turn off the ability for them to fundraise using PayPal?
That's correct, Andrew. Our job at ADL is to use our expertise with better access to their systems so we can monitor what these groups are doing to stop it once and for all. But Andrew, it won't end there. The goal is also to share what we learn with other companies who are dealing with some of the same challenges, as well as with law enforcement and elected officials, because we need a whole of society strategy.
A whole of society strategy, I assume, to identify what people who are anti-Zionists. What's the end game here? Back to TikTok. So, as Mark Warner and Mike Gallagher crow in Munich about how they were able to basically manipulate a classified congressional briefing, which was shown to, I think, members of the intelligence committees. And per that briefing, after the Congress people got that classified briefing, which, by the way, has never been declassified, we really don't know what was in it. All of the Congress people across party lines voted the TikTok ban bill out of committee, and it was headed to the floors of Congress. And we know Joe Biden eventually signed it into law. And then the phony TikTok ban happened where the app went down for 14 hours. And then they came back and thanked Trump. And then everybody's algorithm was fucked up. And everybody thinks some fuckery happened. And I'm with everybody. And by the way, I do think some fuckery happened. But to be clear, the fuckery that happened, whatever happened, the whole premise behind the TikTok ban was completely phony. It had nothing to do with China. It had nothing to do with the compromise of national security. In fact, one congressperson who attended that briefing, I think it was Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs, gave the comment and said that, you know, in that briefing, there was nothing new really learned, nothing new gained. Basically, what she said was that TikTok is not doing anything in terms of its data collection that all the rest of these social media platforms aren't doing. That everyone that is on the internet, on any social media app, is constantly collecting your data. And TikTok is not egregious in the type of data they collect or the amount of data they collect. And, you know, we can agree to disagree that leave my data alone, everybody, but we don't live in those times anymore. So we kind of have to accept it is what it is. But this was an Israeli manipulation, and Jonathan Greenblatt is letting you know that they got all the social media apps in their pocket, all of them. And I am perplexed. I am perturbed. How many intelligence agencies, how many state intelligence agencies are watching us right now, for fuck's sake? It's bad enough we got to deal with our alphabet boys. Mossad watching us too, nigga, what? Leave me alone. Stop cross-referencing what we say and the things that we post on social media with now, I suppose, our social security numbers, with our PayPal accounts. This is where does this end? The attack on free speech doesn't end at free speech. It literally ends with the denial of your actual liberty and your freedom. I'm talking about they're gonna start locking people up, y'all. Like, this is where this is headed. There is not going to be any room for dissent. We're not going to even be able to dissent against American policy. And I guess we can't dissent against Israeli policies either, lest Jonathan Greenblatt be ready to cross-reference all my data with fucking PayPal, Google, and every goddamn thing else. And let's be clear here. I need more specifics about the levels of anti-Semitic attacks that are happening. Do they rise to the level of someone firing 17 shots at others because they believe them to be Palestinian? Does it arise to the murder of a child and the attempted murder of another and the unprovoked shooting of college students? Like, are we seeing anti-Semitic attacks like that? Or are we telling, or is from the river to the sea? is that the anti, like? And I want to be clear here. Y'all know this, and I have to just say this just to reiterate it because the world is dumb, and people will take what I say out of context. I want to be clear here. I don't have anything against Jewish people who practice Judaism. I love matzo ball soup. That shit is bomb. Okay, but I'm being serious. I don't have any particular animus towards Jewish people or followers of Judaism. Okay, in America, Jewish people are white, and I treat them accordingly. Okay, like I don't treat them any different or look at them any more or any less than I do the rest of the fucking whites. Okay, take that however the fuck you want it. I do not care. All right, but I don't want to have no bullshit anti-Semitism being levied at me because run it down. Okay, pick a European nationality, put me as anti that. Okay, if you want to throw anti-Semitism in, fuck it, I don't care. But I want to be clear here. What Israel does is specific and evil and nefarious. They are still committing a genocide. America is complicit in that genocide. Genocide Joe was aptly nicknamed. Okay, I don't know how we can finesse genocide into Trump's name. We're going to work on that. You understand? But this is America policy, period. And for all the hair pulling and pearl clutching that people are righteously doing behind Trump and Elon, the evil that America puts out in the world will come back to us. And that is what I think we really need to be concerned about. Do I think we're going to experience a Hamas attack on American soil? I don't know. I doubt it. We have enough enemies. Pick one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody mad at us. But it is bad form. Obviously, shame on me for calling the U.S. foreign policy bad form, as though some faux pas was spoken at some internationals. No. I know it's way worse than that, right? Because there is no democracy, and I, as much as I deplore what everyone is going through, what us as a country are currently experiencing, honestly, it is just a smidgen of the type of instability that America has put other countries through. An endless list of nations that have had their economies destabilized, their elections destabilized, their democracies destabilized. This is what the U.S. does to everybody else in the world. And I feel as though we are getting a smidge of a taste of it, a teeny tiny taste. And this is just the beginning. So anyway, like, guard your data. And when you hear people in your everyday life talk about China and the threat that China poses to us and our national security, toss that shit out. Ask the people who are regurgitating such things, what about Israel? Do you care at all that Israel has dominance and control over every branch of our government? AIPAC determines who wins congressional primaries, who wins congressional seats. AIPAC determines who are going to be the party's presidential candidates, right? When people start crying about China and Russia, remind them what Israel is doing. Gross interference in our governmental systems, in our media, in our social media, and is impacting in a very direct way Americans' supposed constitutional right to free speech. Israel controls that, not the US and not you. Well, I guess we knew, not you. That's not a shock. Anyway, I'm finished. Well, I'm finished with that. Anyway, thank you all. I think I'm done with that. Yeah. We're done with that. Thanks, gangs. Everybody doing all right? Everybody doing all right. All right. I don't know who we got in here. Hey, we got Sweary Furry in the house. We got Holly Horn, Alicia, Tyler Hackner, James. Where you been, James? We got Stoner Loner. What's up, Stoner? Hey, LJ. LJ. Hey, LJ. What's up, LJ? Thank you so much for being here. The Jammer. The Jammin'. What's up, the Jammin'? Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Sober. What's up, Sober? Cynical. Thank you so much, Cynical, for coming through. I know December Cat. I know December Cat. December Cat's been in here before. December Cat, how did you find this? I can't. Are you a status quoer from the status community? Thank you, December Cat. I appreciate you coming back. DJ Vesper X in the buildings. What's up, Yipper? What's up, Schultzy? Oh, good. I'm so glad all y'all, my VIPs are in here. Shout out to my mods. What's up to Latif? What's up to Anna? What's up to Abby? My son, Tyler. Don Bird. Afraid not. Donnie, I got you on our list of thank yous for Classical Breakdown. Thank you so much for supporting our Erykah Badu episode. Myself and the Ear Doctor coming back on Thursday. This is going to be a good one, y'all. Y'all got to tune in for this shit. This shit going to be hot. We're going to do the Classical Breakdown of the Ohio Players. Shout out to our Buckeyes out there. And that is going to be Thursday, 11 a.m. on Black Liberation Media. Please go over there, set your notifications. I think your doctor already has the thumbnail up. So go over there, set the bell, set the bell, set the bells. Will, did I see some boxes roll up?
No, ma'am.
Are you sure?
Nope, wishful thinking. Let's put some boxes in it, and so Kim, can feel better.
I'm trying not to sneeze. So what's up? Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. It went away. Okay, went back up in my nostrils. All right, I'm back. But anyway, thank you, Will.
No problem.
It's been a long time since Wu-Tang had the chance to shine. You guys hit the like button. Thank y'all so much. If you're joining us on the vertical stream, hey, what's up? Come on in here. To all the haters, hey, hello, my enemies. May you have a very, very, very bad day. But we see you. We acknowledge you. You know, we see that. Also, Twitch. What's up, Twitch? Shout out to Rosalba. What's up to Northern Witch? BIDWKB. That's us on Twitch. We appreciate the Twitchers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Courtney. How the hell did I forget to shout out Courtney? My bad, Court. I don't even know Courtney's in here, but Courtney, love always. Okay, let me get on to my next story here because what I like to try to do, I do like to try to follow up on stories that I have covered here previously. And even if the outcome wasn't what I anticipated, let's put it that way, it's important to follow up on these things, guys, because I want to keep same energy. Okay. I am a show host, media personality, I suppose, but I have a journalism background. God damn it. I have an actual factual journalism degree. I worked in journalism and I have Libra rising. So it is essential that I come with some sort of balance, equity, sense of justice, right? Or at least fairness. I'm going to try to be fair here. We'll pop up the article for me, please. So it was announced late on, I think, Valentine's Day, that the lawsuit filed against rapper Jay-Z, filed by a woman who claimed that she was assaulted by Jay-Z and Diddy after a MTV Video Music Awards, I think back in 2000. This civil lawsuit has been dropped. Okay. It was announced that the attorney, Tony Busby, for the unnamed woman who claimed that at age 13, she was assaulted by both Jay-Z and Diddy at a house party, mansion party, after a Video Music Awards ceremony. At the time of the filing of the civil suit, which was late 2024, Jay-Z vehemently denied these allegations. He had very disparaging things to say about the Houston, Texas-based attorney, Tony Busby. and he swore that he would be vindicated. And we covered that here on this platform. We even covered part of Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, his presentation to the media at the time, detailing how this alleged assault was virtually impossible in the eyes of his client, etc. So now the lawsuit has been dropped fully. And when I say fully, I mean it was dropped and dismissed with prejudice, which means that this person cannot bring a similar suit against Jay-Z, against Diddy, in this particular case again. Okay. Jay-Z released a statement basically saying that this entire lawsuit lacked merit. He claimed that the allegations were timed to coincide with the premiere of Mufasa, the Disney movie starring his daughter Blue Ivy and his wife Beyonce. Jay-Z did show up to the red carpet, took pictures, but he said that, he felt as though the lawsuit was timed to serve as a distraction or to embarrass him or humiliate him into not showing up in public to support his family. And he said, y'all didn't do that. Y'all can't keep me down. He didn't say all that. But what he did say, he still had disparaging comments for Tony Busby, calling him a 1-800 lawyer, and said that this whole situation would be laughable, but for the seriousness of the allegations. And he went on to say that false allegations should be dealt with as harshly as actual claims of rape and sexual assault. And I don't expect Jay-Z to say much different than that, And I want to say this, a couple of things. Multiple things can be true at the same time. I don't know if the assault happened as the victim described. Because for numerous reasons, I can't put anything past any person. Okay. I can understand how people can look at someone like Jay-Z and see their status, see their wealth, see their fame, see their talent, see their accolades, and think that a person like that would not ever or have to commit sexual assault against any person, particularly not a child. But I hope that we are not ourselves operating as naive as that, right? We know that there are plenty of people. Let's use Jeffrey Epstein, for example. Way more money than Jay. I mean, he was on it, you know what I'm saying? Epstein had Epstein money. This nigga had an island. You feel me? So let's not act like rich, wealthy, conventionally attractive, however you want to describe some of these people. Let's not act like these people don't themselves exploit and take advantage of very vulnerable and marginalized persons, such as young people, young women and young men, right? So I'm not going to say that this assault as described didn't take place. I don't know. When I hear that a lawsuit is dismissed or dropped, you can take that down, Will, or you leave it up, whatever you want to do. When I hear the lawsuit is dismissed, what I hear is that there's not enough evidence, there's not enough proof by a preponderant, reasonable preponderance of whatever the fuck, that the lawsuit would be ruled in the plaintiff's favor, in the so-called victim's favor, right? And that is the case with a lot of sexual assaults, guys. Sexual assault is grossly underreported, okay? In the single digits, percentage-wise, are the amount of sexual assaults that are actually reported to law enforcement, right? Or even disclosed to folks, right? The majority of people who endure or survive a rape or sexual assault never say anything to anybody. And we've seen this time and time again where survivors won't come forward years later, decades later, right? Doesn't mean the shit didn't happen. And oftentimes, a lot of these cases, even the ones that come out and disclose and say that this happened to me, a lot of them very seldom are ever heard in a criminal court. The accused is seldom punished with jail time. And even when jail sentences are levied, they're usually pretty lenient. They're usually slaps on the wrist. We've done and covered stories here of child assaulters, right? How the fuck does this person get a 6-year sentence and out in 2? Like, this shit happens, right? So what I wanted to do here, I just wanted to give the same energy, because when the accusation was first published, late 2024, when the civil suit was on every single gossip site, news site, everywhere, from the Today Show to the Shade Room, everyone was covering this Jay-Z civil lawsuit alleging he had raped his 13-year-old. And I was part of that course. And so as a journalist, as a fair person, the fact that this case got dismissed, I wanted to at least tell y'all that, in case y'all didn't know. I'm sure you already knew. But from a professional, my personal standards, I'm not gonna stick my head under the desk and be like, oh, I was wrong. Oh, the lawsuit got dismissed. Maybe that means Jay-Z didn't do it. Nope, that's not what that means. That's not what that means at all. It means a lawsuit got dismissed. That's exactly what that means. And I want to send good vibrations to that lady, and a shame, a finger wagging to Tony Busby. Tony Busby is not some bum lawyer out here, y'all. Tony Busby has been victorious in suits alleging misconduct by powerful and wealthy folks. I don't take him as a 1-800 lawyer, to be honest. But shame on him for allowing his client to do that interview that they were in shadow for. The person's name and face were not disclosed, but it was not a strong showing. It was not a strong media presentation of the victim. And I can't understand why the lawyer would ever set their client up like that, only if the lawyer themselves had not fully prepared their client and vetted their client. Is kind of what that sounds like to me. And there is some egg on his face, Tony Busby's, that is, for this dismissal. However, he still has many dozens of lawsuits continuing to pend, civil lawsuits pending against Diddy. We'll see how the rest of those shake out. But unfortunately, when I will say claim, because again, I'm not gonna call this woman a liar. I don't fucking know. I cannot put it past no man. I'm sorry. I can't say this nigga did not do the shit, because I just can't do it. I can't say he didn't do it. The lawsuit fell apart. But I'm so sorry for this person, this woman, this accuser, who's obviously had a bit of a difficult life. And I'm not exactly certain what the end game was. Jay-Z believes the end game was to extort him. I think he also mentioned that in his statement where he talked about extortion. He said it felt as though Tony Busby was putting a gun to his head and like insisting that he pay up or else your reputation will be besmirched, or else your branding opportunities will be limited. And Jay-Z said he didn't feel as though he should have to comply with anybody making those kinds of demands on him in that way. And he's fair to say and do that. My thing is this, y'all. I don't think that the reckoning is finished with the music industry, in particular, the Black side of the music industry. Unfortunately, when Black people who are visible, when they fuck up, their fuck ups are highlighted and amplified much, much louder in a lot of cases, much louder than white folks who are their peers, right? So I still expect to see some more Me Too-ish type of stories to come out, not only against Diddy, but possibly against Jay-Z too. At worst, well, rather, at best, and I've said this before, if Jay-Z's not the rapist, why is he hanging out with the rapist? I'm glad you want to kick it with your family now, Jigga. However, back in the day, and maybe not that far back in the day, by the way, you was running with the rapist and you knew it. And we can name the names. We don't have to name the names. We know we know who the people are with numerous allegations besides Diddy. And you will find pictures of Jay-Z dapped and hugged up with all of those folks. Okay. Simply him being exonerated from this particular lawsuit does not an innocent man make him. He is not. I was trying to say that fancy. I fucked that up. Does not an innocent man to make. You know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm trying to say it with some profundity, and I'm fucking it up. But I wanted to bring that to y'all because I didn't want to ignore it. I didn't want to pretend that the dismissal of the lawsuit didn't happen. I don't want to sit here and act like if stories don't adhere rigidly to my narrative. And to be clear, my narrative is that I want predators to be exposed. First off, I want them dealt with. Second off, and I want them dealt with harshly. Third off, right? That's my narrative. That's my agenda. I want survivors to not fear reprisal from simply speaking their lived experience, regardless of the stature of the person that did them harm. And if Jay-Z is such a predator, I want him exposed, period, point blank. If he was not the predator in this case, he wasn't the predator in this case. But I think that where there's smoke, there's fire. And I don't think that this is going to be the last accusation that we hear against Jay-Z. But for now, the lawsuit about him allegedly assaulting a 13-year-old dismissed and not coming back. Okay. That's it. That's my little program for y'all. Esta noche.
Can we shout out Gangrene?
Yes.
Gangrene Thumb, we appreciate you for the super chat.
Yes.
Please have a great day. A very, very, very great day. That's what
did he send? What did he send, Will? For Will to give out the platitudes. Gangrene must have blessed us. What he run us, Will?
10 of them things.
10 of them things. I'll take 10 of them things, Gangrene. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. And yeah, keep liking it, keep sharing. We ain't stopped. We ain't done yet.
Me and Will, we are Team Gangrene, by the way. Me and Will. Well, let me speak for myself. Will's a upstanding member of the community. I am Team Gangrene out here. I am Gangrene, and I don't mean the Packers, and I don't mean the Eagles. I mean that sweetest Chiba. Yes. So anyway, not Will, y'all. Will's an upstanding member of the community. I'm not. I am not an upstanding member of the community. Anybody saying anything funny or awesome in the chat, which I imagine somebody is. Thank you so much to Latif again. Thanks to all of our mods, Abby Anna, Donnie Bird, my son Tyler, all of the people. So don't forget tomorrow, of course, tune into the Remix Morning Show, Women's Wednesdays. I'm on the group chat. They have confirmed Ricky Ryan, Jacqueline Lukman will be in the building. So 8 a.m. Eastern, be sure to tune in over there. You guys, do you guys know me? So you know me and Ear Doctor. I feel like Ear Doctor is like my first cousin. I feel like Ear Doctor. I totally feel like Ear Doctor and I were occupying high school at the same time. And I'm like, we was in high school at the same time. We was not in high school at the same time. But I feel like Ear Doctor is like the junior that was in my 9th grade earth science class. Like, nigga, what are you doing? Nigga, what did you do here? Didn't you already take earth science? Why are you back here? So anyway, Ear Doctor and I cut up. So when Kamal sent out the text that he couldn't do the morning show this week because the kids was out of school, we at Ear Doctor laughed at this man because y'all have seen Kamal's children on screen. They are gorgeous, beautiful, intelligent, very sweet children, but they are big. They're not babies. They're not toddlers. These are large children, right? Very, very big kids. And I'm like, Kamal. The kids can't be by themselves for 2 hours. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., nigga. The kids is on break. They sleep until 9 o'clock. What are you talking about? And you got to feed them. Nigga, we Gen X. What Gen X? To keep it a buck. Were it not for cereal and milk, a lot of us would be dead. Were it not for cereal and milk, lots of us was not going to survive the 80s, right? Why come we can't run cereal and milk at these children? Come on now. Fine. Give them the fufu shishi milk. Give them the almond milk. Give them the oat milk. Give them the coconut milk. Fine. But run them little Bama some syrup. Anyway, that was I just had to share that with y'all. And y'all know I love Kamal. So I'm not talking shit about Kamal. But y'all can time code this shit and send it to Kamal. I don't care. I tell shit to Kamal's face and he knows it. So anyway. Pam. Hey, Pam, thank you so much. I'm so glad. Pam Jones, thank you so much. I'm so glad you like the call-in format. I enjoyed it too. You know, y'all know Ear Doctor is perfect for this shit. He's great. Like Ear Doctor has a lot of radio instincts. You know what I'm saying? So yes, that all felt very natural. And again, thanks to everyone that watched. Thanks to everybody that called. And you know, when niggas leave us up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, maybe we'll do that again. We will do that again. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So I enjoyed it as well. So anyway, what are we doing, y'all? Women's Wednesdays tomorrow, Remix Morning Show. Thursday, Classical Breakdown. Me and the Ear Doctor, Ohio Players, Set a Bell. Cynthia Rose, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And of course, the Friday edition of Burning Down with Kim Brown here this Friday. So I think that's it. Gangrene Thumb, thanks again for your support. If you want to support the platform, subscribe to the shit because we over 7,200 subscribers. You know, we keep rising to the top. We trying to get to 10K. I had my can't do my math that quick, but we're like 2,800 subscribers away from 10,000. So subscribe to the video if you don't mind. And if you want to run us some material support, we appreciate that as well. Super chats are welcome. Or you can hit us on our cash platforms, $BIDWKB. Cash App, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, and of course, Patreon.com/BIDWKB. All forms of support are appreciated. So on behalf of Will and Molly, thank you guys so much. We will see y'all back here on Alizarine. I said Roman Polanski never returned. I know. How is it? How? They successfully exiled that white. Let's see. And then they locked up Harvey Weinstein, that white. And then Epstein got locked up too. I don't know. Maybe the whites are not coming out unscathed and all of this. But Roman Polanski is still over in France drinking the free wine. You know what I'm saying? Breathing the free air. So fuck him. So anyway, thank you, Alazarine. Thank you so much, beloved. We appreciate you. God bless Canada, by the way. I don't remember, Alice Marie, I can't remember if you're Canadian, but I want to shout out to the Canadians booing during the U.S. national anthem during the NHL hockey. Y'all are the real MVPs. Keep booing the shit out of America. I love it. It's wonderful. And the Canadians are so perplexed. The Europeans so perplexed. Anyway. We'll see y'all back here Friday. Love you guys to pieces. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Deuces.